Hey, it's Jim with wolfofbricks. Last week, I had the opportunity to be on a podcast / live stream on YouTube called A Couple of BrickHeads. The link is below. If you like what you hear, please check them out and subscribe. Hope you enjoy the video.
What is happening? Welcome to another edition of A Couple of BrickHeads. I'm your co-host, Sean the Right Way. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Brent from Brent's Bricks. And tonight we welcome a very special guest. This one's fun for me, Brent, because I consider this man a friend. I started probably as a fan of his work, but we've become buds, Jim, I'd say, over the last year or so.
Absolutely.
And welcome Jimmy Roro from formerly of BrickBucks, but now he is, Brent, probably the coolest name on the whole platform. He is the Wolf.
I'm a fan for sure.
Bricks.
It's a better name than mine.
Jim, welcome aboard, my friend.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. So we're going to have sort of a deep dive with Jim, sort of, you know, his background and what he's bringing to the table in the Lego YouTube community. He also recently started his own venture. Well, you notice I said formerly a BrickBucks. And Jim, that's got to be happening to you, right? You're the BrickBucks guy. I mean, that's who you are, right? Or who you've been. And I think for the future, that transition is going to be good. But at the end of the day, they're just going to kind of look for your face, I hope, on the thumbnail, and you get the click. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the idea. I mean, the thing is, you know, that's a YouTube channel I started 5 or 6 years ago, and
right.
It is no longer mine, and I'm fine with that. And it, you know, if there's one cool thing about it, it'll be interesting to see where that channel is, you know, 5-10 years from now. Hopefully it's not in the gutter somewhere. Hopefully it's in, you know, a good place, a nice place where, you know, people can get something from it.
Absolutely. And you know, what I set aside, I mean, I still think there's some valuable information that's going to be shared on the platform. And for your sake, you know, I even though you're out of there now, I get what you're saying. You still want it to be tended to and do well in the future. So
right.
We're going to cover that. But before we do, Brent, there's been this is a pretty big news week this week, I think. And,
oh yeah.
you know, if you want to kick it off, we're leading with let's get ready to tumble. Jim, I'm sure this is on your radar, and you might not be buying them yet because it's not time for you to buy them yet. But Lego announced 2 tumblers. We got a playset version for $40. And we've got a UCS for $230. Brent, is it?
$230, $229.99 USD.
So you're the big fan here. Tell us your thoughts on that, man.
So I'm super stoked. So I made my news video a little too late, and there was kind of a funny bit at the end of the video where I was like, well, my leaks are no longer leaks. But and you know, there were some questions in there. I was like, well, is it going to be 200, 250? And it ended up being right in the middle. And the play scale one looks great too. They're coming out a month apart. So that's kind of the interesting thing there. They're like, well, we'll give you the $40 one first. You know, scratch that itch. Here we go. There it is. Giving you this one first on October 1st, and then the big guy is coming on November 1st. I'm a big fan. I love The Dark Knight. I still got my Dark Knight trilogy behind me. I love the Christian Bale films. I like other Batman films, but you know, I kind of grew up with these, so I'm excited, man. I don't have any Dark Knight sets, so I'm pumped. I'll be buying them both.
Awesome. Jim, your perspective, this is the playset version, and correct me if I'm wrong, these are kind of the price points that you're sort of big on. What do you think of this set as a $40 alternative? And what do you think about their strategy coming out with this one full month ahead as an appetizer course before the big guy hits? And we'll show you that soon too.
So let me answer your last question first. So I thought that was very curious that they're doing this $40 set first and then the $200, because I believe there's going to be a toy shortage later in the year, and it's a strong belief. It's not a belief where, you know, that's a hill I'll die on, but it's still a strong belief, right? And so I said to myself, well, that's great. You know, they're going to tease the $40 set, and whenever the $40 set dries up, the only alternative is to buy the 200 and the 200 plus set, right? So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think to yourself, this, if this is something you want, you should definitely pre-order it. And even if you want to maybe resell it, you should pre-order it now, because who knows what's going to happen in the next couple of months. And I hate saying criticism, right? Because I'm a fan of Lego just like everybody else, and I do e-commerce, so my opinion is just like everybody else. So I don't want to act like you should have done it this way, but it would have been nice if they would have had some sort of special $40 tumbler that was the sand camouflage one too. I mean, they have two cars. I forget the car, make a model. It escapes me right now, but the kind of boring cars compared to what Lego cranks out normally, and they're two different colors. So why not do something like that?
Oh, no volume, Sean. You're muted, I think. I think you're still muted.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
There it is.
The pro here. I got stuff going on. So what I was going to say is, what I was thinking would be cool with either this or the UCS is kind of like the tree house. How they had like the alternate sort of colors. You had the fall and then the sort of the spring.
Right.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would
be. I'm a huge. I mean, Batman is my favorite theme. I'm going to be buying these. One of the reasons why I like the $40 one is, I could. My son's only 5 years old. I could build a set with my son, and when I say build the set, he could turn the pages and put the occasional brick on. When we're talking a $200 tumbler that I already have that's still in the box. I mean, one of those pieces fall. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's $200. What are you doing?
Exactly. So yeah, we all agree. I mean, this is a cool set, and it's cool to see like a really, I mean, the quality looks good. We'll see it in hand and everything, but for $40, I mean, guys, if this was a Star Wars set, this would be $70, right? Like, no doubt.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. So
right.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be, it's pretty awesome. Let me go to the big boy set. This is I'm calling it the UCS tumbler. Do they have sort of a sub name for these? I guess they don't. They don't call it like any sort of, there's no designated series, but Jim, this is higher than the price point you like to play in, but you'll go up there and dabble on occasion. What are your thoughts on this guy? I mean, like, look, my first thought is I think it's cool, but I feel like they release one every couple years, and maybe you could tell us what that does to the value of the current ones. Do people, when they're trying to unload them now, are they going to have trouble with that if they held it too long? Sort of talk me through those scenarios if you can.
So this one will be tricky, right? Because I'm a firm believer on you should never be worried if they redo a set unless it's the Saturn V, right? Now the problem is this set is very similar to the last one. It's not an exact, but it's close. But here's the thing, I believe that this will probably appreciate in value a little bit quicker than the last one. Like if you go to my favorite website, Camel, you'll see that there was, maybe a year and a half, even 2 years where the price was kind of stagnant, right? I think because there's more adults getting into it and other things going on. And here's the deal, man. That trilogy, I think, is over 10 years old since the last movie. And
I think so.
It doesn't feel like that, right? Like, no. I'm not joking. Like, whenever I'm trying to get pumped up in the morning, I'm brushing my teeth. Like, I'm pulling up a Bane clip and trying to, get going. I'm like, man. But, so I think there's definitely possibilities that are there that weren't in, the last tumbler. And also, historically, the Batmobiles have done relatively well. Now, of course, this is over 200, so we'll see how it goes, but I do think this will appreciate a little bit quicker than the last one. And there's going to be a lot of people out there that'll be like, man, I didn't get that one, I'm definitely going to get this one. So
yeah, like me, I did not get the last one. I don't even think I was collecting Lego when the last one was out, so I'm pumped about it because I don't have the other one.
Nugs chimes in with never been a
Hey,
huge fan of Lego Batman, but I'm absolutely stoked for the new tumblers. Nugs, good to see you back this week, buddy. Yeah, man. So as a follow-up question, Jim, is the tumbler and the more so the Batmobile, I think, is the Batmobile sort of evergreen in the way that any version of the Millennium Falcon is evergreen, in that they've released, let's just say 10 Falcons. I don't know, but
Right.
Historically, we all know the legendary first UCS and the story there, and hopefully it happens with the next one. But it seems like they all mostly have been okay as far as to flip, invest in, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I would say, and this is off the top of my head, so I may be wrong, but I don't think I am, that when it comes to the return on investment percentage, that the smaller Batmobiles, and when I say small, I'm talking about like the $30 ones that you could get on discount for like 21 and change if you know what you're doing. Yep. Do have a higher return on investment versus a Millennium Falcon. Now, the good thing about the Millennium Falcon, if this is your business model, God bless, it's not mine, but if you buy the Millennium Falcon, you should expect to get at least a $75 return on investment. Okay. And if that's what you want to do, that's great. I mean, the last Millennium Falcon that I really liked was the one from the first movie of the last trilogy. I think that was good. I think it won a Toddy Award. Definitely better than the last two that were cranked out. But I definitely think the Batmobiles have a better return on investment.
Are you talking about the Force Awakens?
Yes.
Falcon. I have it on my shelf over there. It's
love it.
I
think it's like $150 set. That's now like maybe $350, $325.
That set pretty much got me back into Lego, honestly, back in 2015. So
it's cool, man. It's
sentimental for me.
There you go. No, I appreciate you answering that. I do feel like, I don't know. And Brent, on the Star Wars side of things, it's like anytime they do anything Boba Fett, it's going to sell based on historicals from anything Boba Fett previous, right? Inside of Lego and out. It's just that character is, again, sort of evergreen, right? I mean,
oh yeah,
like, or Darth Vader, right? I mean, there's certain characters and sets you slap one of these iconic characters or vehicles into something, people are going to lap it up. Brent, I'm having difficulty locating. I wanted to pivot real quick to the CMF stuff. What am I looking for?
Just go to the minifigure tab. Like, I think under themes, just going to the minifigures would be the quickest because it's not under Marvel.
Is this it?
Yeah. I spent all day hunting for these guys.
So Jim, there was a little bit of mayhem at the release of these Marvel CMFs. And be curious to hear your thoughts, because I don't hear you talk minifigs much except for how they drive value in particular sets. But Brent, give us the high level on the hype around this release, your difficulty finding them, and sort of why you think. I mean, there's always a rush when a new series comes out, but this seems people were a little thirstier. What was happening here?
So it's the first Marvel CMF, so that's kind of a big deal. It's similar to the Looney Tunes thing, because obviously Looney Tunes, that was its first time being a CMF, and I don't know if they underproduce, but I know that the Lego store I went to said they got 2 boxes, and part of the confusion for me was Lego.com said September 2nd. So I was like, okay, September 2nd, I'll go to the Lego store, and yeah, I should have called, but he told me, oh, we had them yesterday and we had 2 boxes and they sold out. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, I drove an hour for nothing, but turned it into something, went to about 6 targets, and only one of those targets had the CMFs. And I got 9. Now, I'll tell you what, the new Captain America, well, he was Falcon. Now he's Captain America. I think his character name is Sam. The Marvel fans are going to kill me. That guy right there.
I see 17 Captain Americas. Which one am I looking at?
So you're the one with the wings. It's the guy. I forget you're not super big into Marvel, but he used to be the Falcon. So it's the guy with the wings.
Gotcha.
He has a big piece that kind of holds those wings on. and therefore he's going to be very easy to find, very easy to feel for. Similar
when you're
to
feeling it up. How do you feel as a grown man, like molesting packages?
Oh,
in a
dude.
store? I haven't been able to bring myself to
It's
that.
so weird. The very first, I mean, when I was a younger kid, I think when they first did series 1, it might have been 2009, 2010. I just know when I was a kid, I never had this experience. But when I first started getting into CMFs, I was like, wow, you really just have to get in there and see if you can feel the pieces. And of course, the first Target I found them, they did not have a box in the Lego aisle. They literally had them hanging on a rack by the self-checkout. So I thought to myself, this is a little bit of a weird spot to feel up some packs. And of course, the employee there was like, can I help you? And I was like, hey, man, I know it's weird, but like these are blind bags. If you just buy them randomly, you end up getting a lot of copies. And I gave him the whole spiel. I let him know what I was doing. And I told him, I said, dude, every single time I'm in a retailer, I mean, it's almost weirder when you're back in the Lego aisle because you're kind of looking around like, okay, an employee might walk by and you'll see him walk back down the aisle.
You know what it
like,
takes for me? You know what
it's
it takes
weird,
for
man.
me is like when I see people doing it in person, I don't want to be viewed the way I'm viewing.
It's
you know
weird,
what?
man. It's
I'm
weird.
judgmental. Sue me, whatever. It's like I get it if you're working or you're trying to earn a buck and you do something a little weird, but it's when I again now a 10-year-old kid or something have at it. But when I see an older dude, even you, Brent, it might be all right.
Right.
You're a young stout.
Well.
Right? But when I see somebody that is closer to my profile,
right,
just
diddling
these figures,
it's weird, man. It's weird.
No, I will tell you when I get them home, but you can't return them anyway. I try to see if can I figure it out for fun? And I get that the whole point's not to buy duplicates, but one thing I've always wanted to ask about CMFs is, to my knowledge, they usually do 2 full sets per retail box. Is there a reason they don't do chase? Jim, could you imagine if they did chases in these? Did they ever do chases? Like
so
in a gold Iron Man that's 1 per 5 boxes, like that would be sick. The situation would be even worse, right?
Oh my god, yeah. So I do know, allegedly with people that are involved with LAN and they got their boxes early, supposedly with these they did get 3 sets in 1 box. So they're going for a smaller box. It used to be, I want to say like 60 in a box, but these are a smaller box, so it's 36, and so there is 3 sets of 12 in each box. I do know that I've seen people, especially with Series 21, M&R Productions opened up a Series 21 box and got like 7 pugs, like the little minifigure in the dog suit, 7 of them, and got like 1 alien. Honestly, actually, you know what? Thinking back, I don't even know if he completed the series, because Series 21 also started the smaller box. So you're looking at 36 instead of 60. Right. You would still think, oh, I bought a box, I can complete the series. But I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if that's a factory error, but I do know that with Series 21, there was some problems. Like, oh, I got 1 alien and 7 pugs. And I think Looney Tunes was the same way. I don't think that Looney Tunes was perfectly 3 whole sets. So it's weird. I guess they got it right with the Marvel sets, but it's not always been a perfect, even amount of sets.
Gotcha. And then what do you guys think of the strategy here of just selling effectively a booster pack here of 6, knowing
it's weird.
Knowing, of course, you can't possibly get the whole set, which again, I'm cool with. It's commerce, right? But before, you could order a whole case from Lego Direct, correct? To guarantee you're getting your sets, or no?
You can get a box from Lego, I'm pretty sure. Does it show it?
No,
right there?
I'm saying, could you before though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so okay. You could.
So the 6-pack box is sold out and the other ones are on back order? Okay.
Yeah. So just very
odd.
Very interesting. I feel like they should sell the packs, but then also, I don't know, how many are there in the series?
12. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why not just do $70 and you get them all? Again,
right.
If there's no chase, Jim, and you get what I'm saying. There's no chase there, then
right.
But I also get the model, right? They hope that there aren't feeler uppers, and they want me to buy 20 of these things to get the 12. So just answered my own question there. But maybe make it 100 and throw a gold Thor in there. I don't know, but it seems like Jim, your take. I mean, you're not a minifigures guy unless it's critical to a set. Is that fair to say? And or have you sold minifigures like this?
Correct. So here's the thing. I would love to get into minifigures, but I've gone down so many Lego rabbit holes. This is like
I can't, man.
This is in my top 3 or top 5, to be honest. The only minifigure that I went deep on was the Han Solo 20th anniversary, where there's like he's standing on some platform or something like that. And you could have, I think you got it on Lego for like $3.99 or something like that. And then I was sitting at home one day and it was sold out. And then a buddy of mine, he text messaged me and he's like, "This is now available." I'm thinking, great, I've never done minifigures before. and he's like, "No, but I've been selling them in my BrickLink store for like $18." And I'm like, "Really? Tell me more." So I think I bought 200, and the price tanked. It's now back to where it should be, and it'll probably get better whenever that Han Solo miniseries comes out on Disney. And that's fine, because I think I've only held on to it for maybe a year or something like that. And but that's the only thing I've gone into. But I know people that go into minifigs, and I'm like, man, because we are talking small amounts of revenue, but when you're talking about return on investment, the percentages are killer, right?
Right.
So that's what attracts me. But yeah, maybe next year I'll get into minifigs more than what I'm doing.
Now, the first Star Wars CMF series is coming, right, Brent? And it's going to have to do with, fortunately or unfortunately, Disney Plus properties.
Probably, mostly because a lot of people were kind of disappointed that this Marvel CMF wasn't just from the movies. I mean, I liked a little bit of the mix-up. I just got done watching Loki, so I'm super excited for that. Or super excited to get my hands on the Loki figure, the 2 that are from that show.
Right, and I get that it needs to align with sort of the corporate priorities, Jim, but could you imagine? I mean, look, I feel like season 1's going to be a safe play from an investment standpoint because it's series 1. There's going to be probably a couple fire figures in there. Like 10 years from now, it'll be like, I wish I got them.
Right.
So, but I mean, could you imagine if they ran back the OGs and did an outfit they've never done before, or put Cody in there, for God's sakes, that everybody's been asking for 150 years?
Right.
That would be insane, and sort of speaking of Star Wars here, Jim, I know you have like sort of a love-hate with Star Wars. Because you've been burned a little bit with it sounded like, but you probably are aware that they did announce, was it this year or last year, Brent, that they were going to wind down the battle pack.
It was
line, which would have been devastating to Jim, because Jim, I know you like battle packs.
It wasn't long after the 501st battle pack they allegedly. I think a lot of people overreacted a little. They were like, "Oh, does this mean no more battle packs ever?" But I think Lego just was kind of saying, "Well, we're not going to give you one in 2021. Enjoy the 501st battle pack, but then we'll give you one in 2022." So I'm stoked. It's actually 4 good
figures. The way they handle their Star Wars fans is just insane. They give the battle pack to people who have been dying for, and then 30 minutes later go, "And that's the last one you're getting, you pricks."
It's an abusive relationship. There's no way around it.
I mean, and Star Wars fans are jerks too, so it goes both ways. But man, they're really trolling them hard on that one. So Jim, this has come out. I think this is the 3rd time, Brent, I believe. What do you think? I mean, Jim, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you like battle packs as long as you can get them on the low, right? Because they're going to double, triple up sometimes.
Right. So battle pack. The good thing about battle packs is they'll usually do 2x or 3x eventually. Now this one is a remake. Is that right?
I believe this is the 3rd time.
There's been at least one before, but it could very well be the 3rd.
Now, how long ago was it whenever the last one was out? It's been some time, right?
You know what? I would have to. It's at least 5 years, could be more.
Yeah. So here's my thing about that, and it was so funny whenever that Saturn V. I'm not joking. When they re-released that Saturn V, the first thing I did was I went to Brick Picker, right? because I said I want to see the whiners, I want to see the crybabies right now, right? And people were, you know, jumping off of ledges and all this other stuff. They're like, I'm done with Lego. And I'm like, and I replied back, I was like, dude, if you sold your crap whenever you were supposed to, you wouldn't have this problem, right? So if there's people that were still holding on to the last one, I mean, come on, right? I mean, so.
But they do
I
make
like the
the molds. They do make the molds different, right? They've changed the Stormtroopers helmets 57 times. So, you know, you're not getting totally burned, right, Brent? I mean, because people are after OG Stormtroopers. They don't like the new mold, yada, yada, yada. So same could apply. I mean, these aren't maybe as iconic, but they're a little more rare than seeing, you know, Snowtroopers certainly are fewer and far between. So I think it's a sexy set. Like, I'll pick up one. I'm not an army builder guy. If I stumbled upon somebody that had, you know, one of those rows of like 200 Stormies, and they're like, Daddy's got to pay his car payment this month, maybe. But you know, I'm not dropping a G just to have a cool little row of figs.
I'll drop some on this. Maybe not.
I know you will.
Maybe not a G. But okay, so the last one was 2010. So it's been a little bit.
Okay, so there'll be a little bit of a thirst on this one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I honestly, like, from my aspect, like, I'll be looking at this set, like, because I've had so many mock ideas, but I just don't really, like, I have a ton of sets, a lot of unopened sets, a lot of sets that I want to keep together. So I don't really have a whole lot of Lego that I can use, but my brain would convince myself to buy 10 of these, because I'm like, well, if I want to do a Hoth mock one day, I'll be set with, you know, these. So I'll probably still buy a good amount of them, especially, you know, once they drop down to clearance. I'll definitely stack up on them.
It is worth noting, and Nugs brought it up, he likes battle packs, but he thinks they're overpriced, especially most of them, because most of them come with stud shooters.
Price
I don't know
keeps
if I
going
mentioned
up
this
on
when
those.
I talked about it, but the battle pack is now $19.99. So $14.99. You wait till they hit around 10 or less, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and here's
but
the deal.
20. I mean, that, I don't know. It's going to get to 13 on the sort of decent sale. I don't know.
That was probably the deal breaker too, because I mean, minifigs are expensive, right? So getting, was there 5 or is there 4?
5 or 4. Yeah.
4 minifigs for $11 after discount. That's a good deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I consider them to be $5. I mean, right? Like, roughly, they can start there and then go up or down, I feel like.
Right. I kind of hate that that's the mindset they're having, though, going to 20, because, like, I understand a CMF being $5, and even some people will look at $5 on a CMF and think it's expensive because they started out at like $229, but you got inflation and all that stuff. But, you know, a CMF is $5 because I'm looking at my shelf over there. Lego Movie 2 did, you know, the Wizard of Oz figures, and, you know, I know I'm not super, like, I'm not super educated on, you know, how much stuff will go up after it retires and everything, but I'm going to take a guess that the Wizard of Oz figs from the Lego Movie 2 CMF series are probably worth a decent bit. I have no idea, but
if they haven't made them before or since, I would think so.
I don't think there's been a set or anything. The only reason why they made the Wizard of Oz CMFs, well, there's 4 of them within that set, because they pop up in the movie, I think. I still haven't seen Lego Movie 2, but I know they're in the movie, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure I made sure that I had 4 sealed, because I got 4 built over there, but I got 4 sealed. I wanted to have a sealed set of the Wizard of Oz figures, just because I was like, I don't know if they're going to drive way up in value.
You're not going to lose on that. I mean, you might not retire off them, but
yeah, I like them personally.
In my eyes, I special more on like rarities and that sort of stuff across collectibles. And to me, like, that's why I don't understand the big rush guys, because, and it works different for everything. But to me, rarity is defined in the truest sense, not that it got snapped up on day one. In other words, if something is widely available at Target, you guys know how many Target stores there are nationwide, right?
Right.
Around 1,400 or so.
I went to 6 today.
Okay, so even though they just got 2 cases, in no way is any one of those CMFs rare.
Right.
Now maybe later when there's regret and everything, but that's why I was saying, now if there were chases and
so
1 per 4 boxes, then I could understand a little bit of the hysteria, but that's still not And Jim, you know what I'm getting at here. It's not like a 1 of 100 or something.
Right.
Well, I am
like
glad
that.
you brought that up though, because before we get too far away from the minifigures thing, Max in the comments said in series, or I think he said, I don't know where it was, but
It's
in
about
series,
Mr. Gold. Yeah.
yes, in series 10 they did a Mr. Gold, and a lot of people like series 20 came out, and everybody was like, "Why isn't there?" There you go. Oh, it was Nugs, but Nugs and Max down there in the
And then
comments.
he
Shout
answered.
shout out to you guys. But yeah, they did a Mr. Gold for series 10. Series 20 came out. There was no, no Chase fig. There wasn't a platinum figure, which would have been pretty sick, but they just didn't do it. I don't know why. Maybe they're waiting until series 30. I don't know.
And then sort of last in the it's not really news, but it's a set. It's sets that came out this week, so I thought it would be worth sort of sharing with the crew here, and that is the new Jurassic World sets.
Hey.
Now, this is a Jim Rowe special if I've ever seen one. Tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like this is something that you, when the timing's right, you're going to like this set. That's why I picked this one to start with, Jim. But so Jurassic World just released 4 sets. We're going to zip through them real quick because I want to get to some other stuff. And I know it's not the sexiest topic because there is no movie out. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. These came out because if you recall pre-COVID, what are we on now? The 6th Jurassic World was supposed to be out this past summer. Can you talk to me about the timing in that in general? First and foremost, do you like this set? Do you feel like once the new movie comes out, obviously that would have motivated people more, and sort of what does that do to sort of retired sets?
So I'm very happy that you laid it out the way you did before I could answer the question, because what my mind is telling me is, okay, this set has a head start on the actual movie, right? So that means, that the sooner a set comes out, the sooner it's going to retire, right? So how long is this set going to be out? Is it going to be out before the movie is done when's it going to retire? Is it going to retire before the movie is out? There's probably not, but there will probably be a little bit more of a demand for it. It would be great if this set came out back in like January or February, right? But anything when it comes to dinosaurs and bones, I mean, I'm thinking of the Ideas, Lego Ideas Fossils set, which is a set I love, and I honestly haven't talked about because there's like 50 other sets I'm talking about. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But this almost gives this set compared to the Fossils a little bit more legitimacy because there's branding involved with Jurassic Park. So it's not just dinosaur fossils, it's Jurassic Park. And if everybody knows Jurassic Park and all this other stuff. So I like it. And it's a good mini display piece. I'm big on mini display pieces. So when, if we could circle back to that tumbler for a second, like that UCS tumbler obviously is a display piece, right? But if you're like the casual Lego person and you just happen to be a Batman fan, or you're not a Lego person and you just happen to be a Batman fan, and you buy that $40 tumbler, I mean, that's a small display piece. So I like it. And I always think, whenever back when I sold cars and I was a used car salesman, in my little cubicle area, I always tried to have that one thing that was like a conversation piece while we're waiting for credit applications or certain things to go through. And, I could see that dinosaur in there. I could see that $40 tumbler in my cubicle while we're chit-chatting and, bringing up Legos. So it's a good set. And honestly, I mean, that really doesn't even look like a play set. You have dinosaur bones and, 2 minifigs, or what are they going to do? Like,
let me get back. Yeah. This is funny. I saw someone call this like the Sam's Choice fossil set, but for everything Jim just outlined, I think having the license, I mean, like, look, objectively, the idea set is better. In particular, I kind of have challenges with the hands here, but I get why, right? Because it doesn't make it looks a little unfinished, but then you realize, like, oh yeah, there's no skin, so it kind of makes sense, and their hands are shaped like it. But I mean, as a set for $30, and we all know this will be $22 at some point or less. I think it's a monster steal, because as Jim said, even if you just buy this for, a Jurassic World fan as a one-off, somebody that doesn't collect, it would look great on a desk. Even if you're just a dino guy and you're not even a Jurassic, which would be hard to imagine. But
right, I mean, they might throw the minifigs in the trash and just have the dinosaur on, their desk right next to the sand garden or something like that, or the rock garden.
Exactly. We're gonna zip through the other ones too. Jim, I don't know if you've seen the new wave or if it's on your radar yet.
I've seen some of them.
You're a big Duplo guy.
Love Duplo.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Money.
Yeah, great price point too.
Yeah, I mean, good price point, and for those people that are, serious investors or casual investors, I just challenge you to check the performance of other Duplos. And the funny thing about it is, the Duplo has had non-Jurassic World dinosaur sets, and I believe those have done pretty well also. So it's and being a father of a 2-year-old and 5-year-old, I'm around people that are wanting to get anything in my kid's face that might that's going to be the deal breaker of them being a professional waiter or an attorney, right? I'm like, listen, this Duplo set, don't get me wrong, I think it's great, but this is not going to be the difference because it's dinosaurs and science, which is good, but
right.
Oh, right, exactly. For me, my daughter's, she's about to turn 4, and at first I was just like, click away. I'm like, this might be, for a little bit younger set. I will say though, if I can find it on the low, I would grab it for one reason. I'm a sucker for that gate, man. They put that gate out. That gate, man. So if I can catch the gate on BrickLink for 5 or something, I just really want the gate out of there. I don't. I prefer the more realistic dinos if they're for my own collection, or is more realistic than this. All right, let's face it. You don't buy Lego for realistic dinos. Here's number 3 of 4. This is the Carnotaurus Chase. Something they do that's really smart is, even though there's only a certain amount of dinosaurs they can release unless they create one, like the Indominus that they did for the Jurassic World series, they're really smart about recoloring, and it's something that we've talked about. And Jim, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on the whole recoloring thing. I think you brought up the Fiat earlier. It seems like they're going to be doing that a lot more, just sort of doing recolored sets. It's early, but what is your take on that?
So is this a re-release of another set?
Yeah, I kind of blended 2 topics. I tend to do that when I get excited. So this isn't a re-release. I'm saying they've come out with a Carnotaurus dino before.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
In fact, this whole wave is based on Camp Cretaceous, which is the Netflix series. So that's why if you see figures or characters you're not familiar with, it's based on an animated series on Netflix. But my point is like, on the topic of sort of just changing the color of the mold here, it seems like, and it's currently available on Zavi. I don't know if you knew that, Brent, but they're selling them already. The blue, I believe it's a blue Fiat's the new one.
Dude, that website's doing the most right now with all those discounts and stuff.
They're off the chain, man. But the condition you get stuff in is a little bit, but if it's for personal, I mean, I think it's totally safe. Right. But Jim, just in general, like your thought on, we talked about it with the tumbler earlier. What if they did 2 tumblers? Like, is there too much conflict there? If they would have done a camo and this one, do you feel like they should stagger them? What are your thoughts on maybe re-releasing iconic sets, but with a different colorway? Would that piss off collectors, or what do you think?
Well, it wouldn't piss me off if they did the
completionists,
right? Right. If they did the black tumbler and the sand tumbler at the same time, I'm like, dude, I could, start building my army of whatevers. Because they only show one tumbler in the movie, one black one, but there's multiple ones, somehow or some way, and there's quite a few of the sand ones, but it is what it is. I think when it comes to this dinosaur, I haven't even seen the other one that was a different color.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But as far as I'm concerned, I'm okay with it versus the Fiat, and I have no problem with the Fiat. I'm just thinking, like, really, and they're both like light colors too, right? I'm like, you didn't have like a candy apple red or
Right.
something like that. They're both like, pastels. And it is like, I try and put myself, whenever I see stuff like that, like I try and put myself like in the board of directors at Lego. It's like, all right, so what do we got for spring 2022? Well, this time we're gonna do the Fiat with a different color. And some guy's like, okay. I'm like, really? So but yeah, I think in this case it's great for the Fiat, but here's the deal. There's somebody out there that loves Fiats a lot more than I love tumblers, right? So God bless.
There you go.
I
There
mean,
you go.
it's what
I would like to beat them and ask why, but
yeah, there's somebody that has an army of Fiats somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to kind of be into cars, and I mean, if they did a Honda S2000 and they did a white one
of those, I couldn't afford it, but it was cool.
I used to work at a car dealership. I sat in one, and my life was complete. It would have been complete if I owned that car. But if they did a white Honda S2000 and then did a black one, I would definitely buy both. And it just, it's a matter of, like you guys were saying, how big of a fan of the car you are. If you're a huge Fiat fan, you're buying both for sure. So, yeah.
Terry has joined. Terry, thanks for
Terry,
joining.
what up?
Quick sidebar question, but an interesting one. Off topic, admittedly. Thank you, Max. You think they'll come out with another Stranger Things set with the new season coming up? Everyone's talking Stranger Things right now, Jim. Upside Down, even for a higher price set. It's on the retirement list. It's probably going to go down this year.
Yeah.
You think they should? I mean, it'd be good for your business or for the reselling business. The more sets they have, bringing in new people, completionists, all that stuff. Do you think they're going to come with new sets? I haven't heard a thing about new sets.
Yeah, so they have the Stranger Things house, which I think is like $200. I think.
Yeah, that's retail. Yeah.
No, I think for it would be cool if that was the flagship set of the franchise, and they had a bunch of other things. Now, what would they have? Would they have? And here's I can't even think of it. So like I don't even want to broach this topic because it's not Lego related, but I hate shows that take like more than a 9-month break. And I understand we're in the middle of COVID, but I'm like, dude, I need to see the last episode or the last season of Better Call Saul like right now, okay?
Because you've forgotten. Yeah,
because
they're asking a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so
Game of Thrones. I had no idea what was going on. I forgot everything.
Yeah. So like maybe make the sheriff's house, or probably not the sheriff's house, but that and it's not a science center, but that government laboratory or something like that. They'd have to make it more interesting, like with science experiments, and have some STEM stuff in it. But yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, for the Simpsons sets, there was supposed to be, I think, 5 different sets, but they only came out with 2 because I think there was like some moms group for children that like was petitioning Lego, and so more sets of popular things is always a good thing. But the Stranger Things house looks so cool. I mean, that should pretty much be the flagship set of the theme if they were going to do that.
I agree. I mean, to me, it's like when you come out and drop the GOAT set, it's kind of hard to follow up.
I mean, I think if
like drop Mike, you're announcing every other set we come out with is shit. I mean, Jim, I love your. By the way, we let a little fly on here, but I love your take on. I was stretching my brain. I made it through 1.5 seasons of that show. I couldn't do it anymore, and mainly because everybody kept saying how great it was, and I'm like, I liked E.T., I liked Goonies. I see what they're trying to do, and it's cool,
right?
But it just got to whatever. That aside, yeah, you nailed it. I mean, I think if they could recreate the lab where they do the upside down, it's all murky and dark and whatever in there, like sure, but beyond that, like unless you make me a modular of that arcade or something, I'm not interested.
Right. I mean, there's another DeLorean coming out, so why not have a mini Back to the Future theme, right?
That'd be so cool.
I mean, with like the bell or with the big clock and stuff like that, and you have Biff's car, I mean, and real quick, I'm just going to
buildable hoverboard,
yeah,
buildable hoverboard.
Dude,
and I hope you don't mind me saying this. This is non-Lego related. There's a movie theory out there that, what was it when Marty went back in time, the first in the first movie.
Mhm.
It was also that date. I forget what the date is, but that's also. And you mentioned Goonies. This is why I'm bringing it up. Is that whenever the Goonies movie happened and they went on that adventure with it was the same date. And there's
85, I think, something like that.
yeah, but like November something like
Right.
there's a calendar in Goonies where it's in November and there's like a circle mark.
They're both Spielberg, right? Yeah,
I think so.
I think
so.
I mean, he didn't direct. I think he produced both of them. So maybe it's an Easter egg. But good point.
I didn't mean to go off. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. That's we go off on every. I've got a Jurassic World set up, and we're talking about everything.
Hey, you know they have
shows
that
the level of excitement. I kind of shoehorned this in there. No, because I wanted Jim's take on the sets, but then also to talk about the relevancy of the timing of release of a movie. Brent, when you dropped, we were talking about how he would have preferred these to probably be winding down as the new movie is coming up. But this is the big boy of the wave. This is the Dinosaur Boat Escape. I believe this is the first large ship in the Jurassic World line. I know they've done like the life raft stuff with the mech set and all that stuff, but terrible piece count as always to be expected. Price per piece. The 308, but that's because there's a gigantic hull, right, Jim? That hull is huge, and you get in a dino, and it's like there goes their budget for the set, even though it's just getting more and more comical. Your thoughts on sort of the curb appeal of this one? I think it's pretty cool. It kind of takes the truck that transported the T-Rex and brings it to another level by putting it on a boat. And I think the boat's sort of cool enough to just, you remove the dino, it's a decent enough boat to throw into your city if you want. I don't know. Your thoughts?
I agree. I mean, I think this set would probably do well under certain circumstances. And when I say certain circumstances, the right discount on it. And honestly, I like that boat a lot. It almost looks like a police boat of some sort.
right.
Or like a Coast Guard cutter. So I like that. It's the Dinosaur looks a little bit leaner than what I would like, but I'm not a dinosaur expert. I'm sure they got it on the money. I just wish it had a couple extra pounds to it.
Right.
Did they do it set with like the Velociraptor?
Not this time. They have before, and they did the Bionics. Bionics was in the last set. He was blue and black, or he was blue and something. But anyway, yeah, the Bionics. I mean, it is accurate to the species, but it is one of the least sort of desirable ones. They kind of. I'm glad like the T-Rex sat out. It needed a wave off, right? That's a good point, I think.
Agreed.
And Raptor needed a wave off. Triceratops was off this wave. There's only been, I believe, 2 Triceratopses. And the one that just came out has driven that set that it was in pretty high. I mean, it's already double the original retail, and it just retired. So people are buying these strictly for the dinosaurs. They know the game. But I think in this case, it does come with a pretty cool, useful vehicle that is not an Emmer effing helicopter. If they do a helicopter, I'm going to lose my mind. And then quickly, I did forget. I forgot one. Let me show you the 4 Plus just real quick. Or did I already show you? Oh, here it is.
Oh yeah, with the slide. I was gonna say I thought I had a slide. You're gonna like this one.
Yeah, this is Jim. I think this is a nice little play set for 40. Again, this is all with the understanding that it will hit minimum of 32 or less at Target, Walmart, etc. It's got Bumpy, which he's a character on the show, so that's got a little bit more value than it's kind of like when they would named dinos, I should say. Blue they identified as the Raptor. And
I'm always a fan of 4 Plus sets, almost in any situation. I just think that they do very well.
Yeah, I agree. But nothing outstanding here, but a cool little set. I like the little vehicle build, and of course, hey man, I'm team no stickers all the way.
Yeah. Do they have a Velociraptor set in this wave or no?
Sorry, I thought I mentioned. No, they don't. The
don't.
Raptor sat out. Blue, who's one of the named Raptors in the new series, is usually pretty sought after. So
I always thought it was strange in the first movie that Velociraptor area was like right next to the visitor center when you see it on the map. Like you would think like that should probably be a little bit farther back when it comes to people's safety, but whatever. we'll just put it right next to the visitor center. Whatever.
Yeah, why not? Give them something cool to look at, I guess. Speaking
of which, that is the most want in that space, and I'm a little bit into the Jurassic stuff now. The Welcome Center would be it would be unreal. So yeah, it's definitely one that people are after. All right, so breaking news. I don't mind sharing with you guys as fellow collectors. I just got some really awful news. That's why I was a little distracted. So a friend of mine has a lot of my stuff in New Jersey. And he just got home from a vacation, and I don't have the details yet, but a lot of sealed, carded WWE figures have been compromised by the storm, and it should have taken them back.
My Lord.
My gosh, you just made me.
Well, here's the deal. It's going to hurt the value, but fortunately, a lot of these loose are still okay, so it's not a total loss, but it's a loss.
Man, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so.
My warehouse is located on the eastern seaboard.
Well, hope it's not underground. That was
if it wasn't 1 a.m. my time, I'd be making a phone call right now.
Yeah, so he just said he's pulling things out. He'll do what he can, and I should have arranged to get him back. It's on me, but I was trying to figure out what to do with them. So that's some breaking news on the collectible side of things. Not good. Hopefully it's just I don't know how deep it got in there. We'll find out. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of the news updates, guys. We're already at an hour. We just got through the news. But I did want to take a look at Brent sent a video, and I'm going to try to show it here. So let's see if this works. Now, Jim, I thought it would be fun for you to sort of evaluate this just in a quick form. I don't expect you to take a deep dive, but this is Brent's portfolio, as it were.
Right.
He's got a pretty healthy, I would say, stash, probably above average for a collector.
It's okay. It's all the sealed stuff. I've been building a lot of stuff lately.
That's all right.
Are we gonna do a screen share? You're just gonna
No, I'm gonna screen share. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if this is the right one. Okay. Is this working?
You can skip. I kind of.
You guys hear?
I kind of bull crap and talk for like.
Right.
20
Can you guys
seconds,
hear the audio?
Yeah, I don't talk when I show the sets though. I just kind of say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this for the podcast," and here it is.
Okay.
We'll look at some Speed Champ stuff first. I think these are like the 3 that are retiring or are close to, and a couple new ones there. Then we got some crappy May the 4th promos. And then I got that. I tried to organize it well, but then we got some. I think that's a 2013 Jabba Sail Barge and the 2019 Medical Center. Got a couple new stuff there. Those are the 2 older Star Wars sets I have. Those were like childhood sets of mine, so I'm super stoked on those. Got a Bespin Duel for $80. I hated doing that, but I had to have that set. I knew that Microfighter was about to be on its way out, and I just wanted it. I have here pretty much got the prices I paid for those, about $80 for each of those, and that was a year ago or more. But I have the whole 20th anniversary collection minus the Vader bust, but I even have the Obi-Wan figure there. I have one open, but I have that one sealed. So I like those a lot. I was glad to get my hands on those. Von Regs TIE Fighter, grabbed it on eBay before it went away. There's the Dorito TIE Fighter. And yeah, a lot of these, like that Dorito TIE Fighter, that Poe Dameron's X-Wing, a lot of those I got on eBay. 3, okay, Sean, that's the set I was telling you about earlier. The AT-APs that I showed very quickly. I wish I would have showed those a little bit longer. But those ATAPs with the Kashyyyk Troopers and stuff, I grabbed all of those for like $30 some right before they went out of, like right before they retired, and it was all at a Target all at the same time. There was 3 of them, and I was like, yep, I want this one, this one, and this one. I made a bad mistake with those. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Dude, we're going to talk about
Yeah,
those.
you probably did too. I have 2 Kylo Ren shuttles. I got both of those Kylo Ren shuttles for crazy good deals. I found those Sith Trooper battle packs in my local Kohl's for $10, so I picked up some of those. Let's see. Into my Harry Potter stuff. I have a bunch of these. I know these are retired now, but I'm definitely going to use them all because I want to make a mock with the Dementors. I got 3 of those. I forget what those are called. The Whomping Willow. It was just like a kind of a piece of Hogwarts. But I got 3 of those because somebody sent me something where they saw them at a Target for $30 and there was a $60 set. So I bought 3 of those. And yeah, that's pretty much this. It's pretty much the entire last wave of Harry Potter here, sprinkled in with some.
We should pause it right there. I got a question.
Yeah. If I don't know if Sean can hear us or not. Oh yeah, he can.
Like pause it like 10 seconds.
I'm multitasking, guys. Go ahead.
You're fine. You're good.
You're good. You're doing great. So pretty much, if you're able to pause it to where you're on the couch and you see like maybe 10 or 15 sets at the same time. I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah. Right around here, I think. Maybe let it play a tad.
Yeah, just let it play for like a couple seconds and then pause it. All right, now it's going to pan out and pause.
There you go.
All right.
Oh.
Close enough. So out of all those sets, let me ask you a question. Which one do you think are going to be the big performers with the exception of the monster book?
Okay, so no monster book. Well, it's a promo. So
I'm sorry, let me re-ask it. Which one do you think will have the highest return on investment in the shortest amount of time?
Maybe the Hogwarts Express?
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it might. I don't know. I don't remember when the last one was. It's a really iconic train. I personally like it a lot. I don't really have too many facts of why I think so. I just think
that's okay. That's okay.
I don't know.
Sean, which one do you think in this picture frame will have the best return on investment in the shortest amount of time?
Probably not Hedwig. Maybe it is Hedwig.
Hogwarts, because it's been out a long time and it's been on sale a long time. And I know that's not everything. I feel like I think there's a lot of those night buses. I would almost say that. I'll go Book of Monsters just because I know there was a lot of hype around that.
Well, besides it, because it's a promo, so it's it'll get up there.
Oh, okay. Of the mainline ones, there's a better and newer Hedwig, but the price point on this one's good. This is the second night bus. It's been out for 100. I know, Jim, I have a cheat code. I know you were at least high on the night bus, so I'm leaning towards that. But I'll just say Hedwig because it's an affordable way to get a Hedwig. I don't know.
So let's say hypothetically, the 2 sets that are mentioned, the Hogwarts Express and the Hedwig, retire at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. To make a even playing field. And my pick also retires at the same time. I would go with the night bus.
Okay.
The reason why is if you look at the past performance of the night bus, it has done really well. All right.
Okay.
Hedwig, and the Polar Express, the Hogwarts Express.
That would be a cool legacy.
Are over hoarded, and I have both of those.
Okay.
I have both of those, right? So the night bus has kind of flown under the radar. One of the reasons why I really like the night bus, and it's not necessarily in regards to why I like it better than Hedwig or Hogwarts Express, is when you have that box and this is your property, right? So you own this set. You've had it in your hand, right? If you put that box in your hand and you look at the size of the box, like there are some sets that cost around $70 that are in a box with that same amount,
Right.
with the same dimensions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that goes for sale for 100, 125, people are like, okay, that's a bigger box. I kind of got my money's worth. I'm not going to return it, right?
Right.
It's not like when you buy a 10-piece Duplo set and you're like, what? I got to pay $35 for this set? What are you talking about?
Right.
So first, I think all those sets are good. And the trick question is, what's the one set that's going to get the best return on investment? It's going to be the Monster book because it was free.
Right.
So, but I would go with the Night Bus. Now, I think out of the Night Bus and Hogwarts Express, I think I have more Hogwarts Express than I do Night Buses. My fault. Because neither one of them, well, the Hogwarts Express isn't retiring. I think Night Bus is finally retiring. They faked this out last year. And Hedwig, do they even have a date on that yet? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
The
my
new one?
opinion. I could
Or
be
retirement
completely
date?
wrong.
The new one is coming out in the next month or so, right, Brent?
It was supposed. It
Be on
got
the
pushed
first.
back. I think it was supposed to be
The first.
September 1st. It got pushed back. I guess I don't know why. Production or
Toy
something.
Stories.
We're gonna zip it a little bit more. This one.
So I have almost the entire like wave of last year, like the old style modular Hogwarts castle, and then I got some of the new ones. There's a tree house. Had to grab it just because I'm just a fan of tree houses.
No, that
And
chess
this is-
set right there, that's already retired, right? The one right there.
I think they restocked it and it was out of stock for a long time, but it is back in stock. I know that.
I think I sold mine already. So
It was
good.
extremely hard to get. It was honestly, while it was out of stock for so long, it was going on for like 100 on eBay. Because
what Duplo set is that off to the right?
Oh, it's
Looks
it's
like a farm.
It is like a farm kind of Duplo set. I got it for like
Okay.
$5.
Oh, good job. Good
Insane clearance. Yeah. $5 holler.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I was really stupid in California with that classic Lego Master set because I had never seen it before, and I thought, oh, is this like a thing because it's in California, because it's just not in Ohio? And then of course I come back to Ohio and we have
California
them.
exclusive.
Well, not necessarily California. I just thought, oh, I'm on the West Coast. Maybe they don't have this Lego Masters classic set. And freaking, of course,
Yeah.
it comes with it's literally the same. You can get all of the sets separately. It just comes with that Lego Masters drawstring bag. And I don't know, it was only $25. It's like retails for 20, but or retails for 40, got it for 25. Not a bad deal, but I was stupid and bought 2 of them.
Jim, we're a ways off because this just came out, but again, I'm not as experienced, but I got this set for my daughter and one for myself.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the coolest $20 sets I've ever seen. I mean, this thing at the right price, I feel like it's cash money. I mean, they're in space suits. This little build of this rocket is pretty incredible in hand. I was showing it off. You get this alien guy, which this is like the second, like he was in a real expensive set before. It's Disney. There's Disney freaks. You've probably seen the line. I believe there's 4+ sets that just dropped. There's a farmhouse. There's a ice cream shop and a fire station, which also marks the debut of Pluto as a minifigure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of these, Jim? I know we're a ways off from retirement, but as a future, if you could stash these at say $12, is that a move?
The only thing that I'm going to say about this set is that I have talked in depth and at length to our Patreon group about this set.
Okay, because I haven't seen you cover it on the main channel.
Right.
So, okay.
Right. So
love it.
So there are some sets.
I'm starting to understand the stuff he loves. I knew this one though.
So I think when you watch my channel, you should listen to what I say, and then you should also listen to. I would say you should listen more to what I don't say on certain sets.
You got to keep some for daddy.
Yeah, and for example, I think enough time has cleared so I could say this, and I'm sorry to the public YouTube channel people that are watching this, because here's the deal. You know, I could walk you to the well, but I can't make you drink, right?
Yeah.
And so I get messages. You needed to. You came so close to telling about this set, and you never did. I'm like, dude, if you don't have that much faith, then you shouldn't be doing this, right?
Right.
So
you got to have an eye too, though, right? You got to have your own. You got to develop your own eye for this stuff.
Right.
Because to your point, you can get them so far, and you can make picks and recommendations, but some people just you've got to develop got to be a tastemaker, I guess, yourself. And when I see something like this with all these different worlds colliding, to me, it's just like you got the Disney freaks, you got space people, you got kids, you got adults.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to. So you have Armistice coming up, right?
What's that?
You have Armistice coming up in 2 years, right?
Right.
Okay. That's probably going to be around the time when the set retires, right?
Right.
Okay. Then you have Q4.
There you go. So there you go. It's gonna should be.
What else do you want?
He's got the castle. He's got Winnie.
The Disney castle was like mine and Lana's. It's hers, but I'll be building it with her.
Hey man, nobody's judging.
All those two Ninjago sets right there were both $50 sets. Got for $10.
Good for you. Where was this at?
Walmart. My Walmart. $10 Ninjago sets that were originally $50. I was like, what in the world?
Now I gotta ask you. Now, when you went there, did you like have a laundry list of things you wanted, or did you look at the tags, or did you scan with the Walmart app, or what exactly did you do?
They had it all already priced out and everything. It's really weird because none of it was. It was all random prices. This'll make you hurt because it makes me hurt. But they had Sith Trooper battle packs for $505. Yeah, $505. And guess what? Guess who only grabbed one and then went back the next day and they were all gone? Me. I was kicking myself, dude.
Yeah,
I was like,
and do you know who picked them up? The flipping accountant. He came down the aisle right after you did. And he's like, "Oh, great, Sith battle packs.
No kidding.
I'll take 20."
Yeah, they had about 8 of them, and my dumbass bought one. So there's how that went. But I got some Ninjago stuff for 10. I picked this up today. Hey, look at that, Mandalorian Forge, and there's that set. And I picked up some BrickHeads today.
There you go.
Second set ever. I don't really get too many BrickHeads.
That's a great second set.
And these I found at a Party City for like $7.
Party City has Legos?
Dude, our last guest we had on here, or he wasn't our last one, but the guest before, I brought up Party City and he reacted exactly the same. And I felt the same way. So honestly, here is I would say one of my better finds. That I know is retired, and I bought that at Legoland. That was an interesting minifig pack. It's gonna be hard. Okay, I don't know if they're literally over to the left on top of my.
Can you just pause it there for a moment and talk about?
There's my box of minifigs.
And talk about how much time it takes to set up something like this.
Dude, I was rushing to do it before work. It was crazy.
I mean, this has got to take close to an hour. I've done the layout, and not even this big. I've never done it this big. But on like my kitchen table, just to, present something to a small group of people, or a text message. And I'm like, as I'm doing this, I'm like, damn, this is freaking taking long.
Absolutely. Especially
and if your wife comes out, you're like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, luckily I was the only one home, so we were all safe there. So it's kind of hard to see. I think I really only showed them better in the beginning, but where the Star Wars stuff is, that kind of stack that goes up, that is, I believe I have 6 of the Jedi and Clone Trooper battle packs. It was a Last Jedi wave. It's the one that comes with like 2 plain Phase 1 clones, and then it comes with a Ki-Adi-Mundi and another one. It's really not about the Jedi though, but it's about those clones. Right. But I found those for 50% off at Party City, so $750 per battle pack, and I bought I think there were 7 of them. I bought them all. $750. At the time I found them, I eBayed them, and they were going for like 25 to 30. They're probably going closer to maybe about 40 now. These are just a bunch of, I wasn't even going to throw this in there, but yeah, it's a bunch of minifigures. Oh, this is a cool poly bag though I'm about to show you. This was a freaking McDonald's Bionicle poly bag that I found for $1 at a thrift store. I was so freaking hyped because me and Bionicle go back a long way. This was a hidden side poly bag they were randomly given out at one of the Lego stores I go to not too long ago. But yeah, that's just, I had my minifigs and poly bags down there, and then this is just kind of another pan of the madness. But this is really only about 2 years of serious collecting. Well, and then of course it's none of my I got a ton of sets up here built and everything, but this everything right here is mostly bought within the last 2 years for the most part.
Gotcha.
Like, started collecting Lego again back in 2015, so I have a lot of Force Awakens stuff built. But yeah, it's not too much. It's a little bit. It's not
Cool.
It's not bad. I got some cool stuff. I'm just glad I got those 20th anniversary sets and a couple of those really old ones, like the duel on Naboo, I think it is, or whatever, the Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, or the Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn. I think that was my first Lego set ever. I am 99% sure. And I got it for like $40, which wasn't, I mean, that was about a year ago. So $40 for that one wasn't bad.
One thing that jumps out at me, Jim, and I'd love to hear your analysis, but the diversity seems on point. I think when you see a lot of collectors, and Brent's mains are Star Wars and Harry Potter, so that makes a lot of sense that they're represented well in this stash. But I like that he has good diversity. He's not afraid to mix it up and have some different stuff in there. Regards like long-term value of all of it, you could probably do a snapshot. I know there's some good buys in there. Darth Vader's castle sticks out to me as a long-term winner. It's at a sweet price point. But Jim, what's your, no one wants to hear what I have to say. What do you what do you think of his stash here? High level.
So you're similar to me in the aspect that I only have one tree house, and it looks like you only have one tree house.
Yeah.
And more than likely, I don't know about you, but I'm probably not gonna, because I only have one. I'm probably not gonna sell. I'm probably just gonna build it or do something with my kids with it.
Right.
So I really like, so your price points, and I'm gonna not talk about the large cantina that I saw. Fortunately, you only had one and not 20 of those.
Oh yeah,
with the R2D2s. You had one and not 20. But I really like those price points, because here's the deal, man. Like, if someone were to ask me what's the one piece of advice you could give me, is that my top three, and I think I said I wasn't going to say this anymore because I've said it so many times, but I feel like people aren't paying attention. My top three return on investments were sets that were under $20. Okay, and they were geared to children. And when I say children, there was some 4+, but I'm gonna be honest. Anytime there's a Jurassic World, I don't care. If it's not Duplo, right? Like it could be in a. There's going to be grown-ups that are going to be building that set right next to children because it's a dinosaur, right?
Right.
I really like that, and there's sets that, I'm going to be honest, I think it was a good idea to not get small exclusive sets. Now, if you're to put a gun to my head and ask me to think of a small exclusive set, I really can't. But I like, if you're going to go deep, like I saw multiples, right? I would have multiples of that. Now, let me ask you a question, and I'm not trying to make this a trick question. But this is a serious question.
Yeah.
What made you buy the sets that you bought?
So when I started accumulating all this, I've only been making YouTube videos since the very start of this year. So I had it in the back of my mind. I was like, well, I mean, I kind of want to do YouTube. I've always wanted to do it, whether it's in Lego or something else, any of my other things I'm into. So I honestly just started buying up a lot of Star Wars sets because I mean I love Star Wars. I got a lot of the Force Awakens stuff in 2015, and maybe it was because The Last Jedi sucked and I didn't buy any of those sets. But I kind of fell out of Lego, not fully, but I wasn't really buying a lot. And then for some reason, I mean, not that The Rise of Skywalker was an amazing movie, but the sets kind of got me interested again. And then a lot of the Harry Potter stuff coming out again. I like Star Wars, I would say, more than Harry Potter, but at the same time, Lego Harry Potter is a big kind of, it's very nostalgic with me. I had almost the entire very first Harry Potter wave when I was a kid, and I grew up and I stopped caring about Lego, and now I have none of those anymore. So that also hurts my soul to think about. But I don't know. I at least knew that, okay, if I keep thinking, a lot of people talk about stuff and they don't want to do it. So I kept kind of thinking about YouTube, and I was like, well, if I have a closet full of sets, I pretty much always have something to do a video about. If I'm not doing a vlog or a news video or something, either I'm going to make a video and do a set review, or I'm going to live stream, or I'm going to do both. So it was kind of just an accumulation of, I mean, I love Harry Potter, I love Star Wars, and there was so much I missed out on. I almost felt like I was catching up when I was buying all that.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have like an objective of exactly what I wanted in the beginning. I just knew that, you know, I was back into it at 2015. I wish I would have stayed at it because there is some Last Jedi sets that I do wish I would have got, but
Sure.
Yeah, I basically just gave myself a giant a bunch of ammunition to make videos, I guess. That's the main thing. I mean, a lot of sets that I like, but
So that was the motivation. It wasn't so much to stash and resell, but that ended up coming a little bit later when you were buying stuff.
with
Super
those
discounted that you
the
didn't
Party City
necessarily-
finds. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that you necessarily wanted to eventually open for yourself, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let me ask this question because I'm trying to assess quite a few things. Are you planning on buying more sets? Let me walk that back. Are you planning on buying more sets that you don't have, or you know, before the end of the year, or when it comes to buying, what is your strategy from now to the end of the year?
As much as it's kind of hard to say it, I kind of want to try to keep up with every Star Wars set, and it's tough when there's a rumored $800 AT-AT coming out, and I still don't have.
Is? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think.
Yeah,
I knew that.
UCS.
Okay.
I still don't have the A-wing. I have the first 3 helmets, but I gotta catch up on the other ones. So
No. You want this for your
Yeah.
personal or for resale?
it's definitely all. I mean, it's not all personal collection.
Right.
There's the only time it's kind of rare that I'll be at the Lego store and I'll pick up a set with reselling it on my mind. But a lot of the times, if it's, obviously it's better to resell a clearance set because you gave yourself a better deal. But yeah, so those AT-APs, I don't know how familiar with that set you are. It was maybe like a late 2019 set. It had like the Kashyyyk Troopers. I have 3 of them. I kind of glossed over them a little quickly in the video, but I felt like they disappeared like really quickly. Like they retired crazy fast. And I found I was just randomly, wasn't looking for them. I was just checking out a Target, and for I think $40.99 or $41.99 was the clearance, and there was 3 of them, and I bought all 3 of them because I didn't have one. So I knew one I was going to put in the collection, but the other 2 I'm definitely going to sit on and see what happens with those sets. I'm not really sure if you have any opinions about that set. It was a $60 AT-AP. It had like a couple different Kashyyyk Troopers. It had, I think, like a Scout Trooper that was like the Kashyyyk variant, and then a Clone Trooper that was a Kashyyyk variant. It may have had.
It's one of those sets where the figures are going to perform better than the build.
Yeah,
Right.
It may already be going for decent penny. So yeah, most of my stuff I'm gonna build and do videos on and build them in live streams and all that good stuff. But you know, when I find good deals, I definitely have reselling on the mind. I would say reselling is a smaller percentage of my collection. I've sold like 2 things on eBay, so even though I have some stuff that I would sell, I'm just I'm sitting on it for the most part.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and I'm learning,
Yeah,
and that's why we got you on here, and I'm gonna make sure I subscribe to your channel and educate myself some more. So.
So I don't want to push you into reselling any more than what you're at, unless
Sure.
it's something you want to do, right?
Yeah.
One of the cool things, and I meet people who say this all the time, and I think you've said it. You know, one of the things that supports their Lego building habit is, they'll buy 2 or 3 of something and then hold on to it. And
right.
And first off, that's great. Even if they sold the set that they built, after it retires, they'll probably get it for MSRP because it's appreciated if it's sealed, and it'll go at RRP if it is open. So what I would challenge you to do, if you take it seriously, and if you don't, that's not a bad thing. I mean, you're happy doing what you're doing, right?
Right.
But if you wanted to take it, let's say, I don't even want to say to the next level, but you're like, okay, I want to buy some sets so I can flip them and buy that $900 at or whatever.
Right.
What I would do is I would look at your Lego collection. I could be wrong, but you probably have somewhere around 50 or 60 different SKUs, right? What I would do is I would probably identify or try to identify what the top 10 winners are, and by no means am I saying that there's any stinkers there, because my stinker last year was a set that gave me 111% return on investment, right? So how bad of a stinker is it?
Right.
But if you're trying to be just a little bit more aggressive on your ROIs, and there's no clearance going on, because trust me, if Party Mart was having those deals every week, I would just say go to Party Mart and rinse and repeat. Have a nice day, right?
It's very here and there.
Yeah.
With that
so
place.
that's something I would do. And real quick, and I say real quick, but I feel like it's not going to be. So I'm going to have to rein me in.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that at?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not the at the ATST. That's the controversial one.
The carrot dude.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
So here's my opinion. And again, I could be wrong. Okay. I like that set. And here's the thing. I like that set before all that silly stuff.
Same. That's exactly what
right.
I love that set even before that. That just turned up the gas on it. I think.
And you know what the funny thing is, I definitely think I'm in the minority, but there's a Patreon member that was, dude, he was like, this is a hill I will die on. And I'm like, okay, so like ease back, buddy. Like I'm with you. Because here's the deal. This was a set I was planning on buying long, as it got closer to retirement, long before all that silliness happened. Okay. That stuff happened. It gave me a sense of urgency. So I bought 250, and there's people like, well, and I'm like, well, they're like, they're going to do Cara Dune again in a minifig. I'm like, dude, they were going to do Cara Dune in a minifig, but again, in some other set before all this stuff was going to happen eventually, right? It
already happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really think that when it comes to the head games, and I play head games. There's other people that play head games, because there's I was talking to a guy the other day, and he's like, I really like this set. It's 20% off. It's getting ready to retire, but I want to wait till it's 30% off. I'm like, really? Well, what if it never gets to 30% off? If it never gets to 30% off and you never buy it, guess what? 2 years from now, when you see that it's 3 times more than what it was, you're going to be kicking yourself. I'm not going to be kicking you. You're going to be kicking yourself.
Right.
But people play so many head games, right?
Waiting for the 30. I mean, Jim's going to go in there and scoop him anyway, or some kid, or even worse in this scenario, like some kid will. Which
M&R Productions is going to scoop them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and hey, real quick, I don't know if you've seen his TikTok.
I haven't.
Yeah, he's got storage units of storage units.
Oh yeah. No, I know about his stash. Yeah,
so I've always liked the ATST. I was planning on. No, I probably wouldn't have gone 250 deep on it. I probably would have gone 75 or 100. But I'm not rushing to return them.
Right.
I mean, that's my opinion on it.
All right. No, I still think that's going to be a winner. And Cara Dune stuff aside, I think it's a unique colorway on that vehicle. I think that build is probably the best ATST build there's been. And Mandalorian is on its second wave already, and I don't think it's going anywhere soon. And you know how people feel about Series 1 of anything, and that was in it. And has a little bit of spice with that story. We still don't know how that's going to net out. And also, that's sleeper fact about that set. And I'm sorry, Brent, guys, I forget the name of the heels in that, but the other character, that's the only set those guys are in too. That's something that people aren't talking about. There's the actual drivers of the ATST vehicle, those aliens that I don't think have been in any other mainline Star Wars set. Those could end up being sought after.
I think that might be a reason why the Force Awakens set, the Falcon we were talking about, is a little bit up there in price, because it has those like, I don't know, some kind of gang members. I forget what they're called. It's like something. The guys that show up on.
That's the point. Star Wars historically, the weird side guy that you saw for a millisecond before Disney edits it out. Like half the guys in the cantina, there's some $20 and $30 figs in that cantina set that pays for itself, because they were guys from that iconic scene. The guy that looks like he has nuts on his chin was highly sought after. And this similar guys of that ilk almost made Jim spit his so cool. So yeah, I mean, so it sounds like Brent's a hobbyist at it, but like Jim said, make a couple of moves and
it's on the mind.
Realizing the dream of having sets pay for itself. I've told Jim that's mainly what I'm dabbling in. I get a few winners to sort of cover my hobby. If I had more time to invest, I think I'd know some moves, and I've gone deep on a couple things, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with sort of funding your hobby in the right way. And particularly doing stuff you're comfortable with and knowing, you kind of know the pulse of Star Wars, and generally it's safe, particularly if it's a rookie or a first of something that's always going to be coveted, and then the characters that are going to perform well. So that's my amateur take on it. Jim, I know I can see the eyes getting red. I don't know if it's from the whiskey or the time, but so we're an hour and a half into this thing. I wanted to kind of dive into you a little bit, and then I had like 10 other topics, but we're gonna have to definitely.
Dude, I'm here all night. Whatever. Yeah,
we'll have to do a part 2. I'm not, because I mean. And I got a baby. I gotta wake up and feed at midnight my time. So,
I mean, I'll make a promise. If we get to 3 in the morning, I'll pull out my Lego Smith and Wesson that I have.
Nice. No, we'll definitely have to have Jim back. There's so much we could cover. But before we get to that and start saying our goodbyes, Jim, you started this new channel, Wolf of Bricks.
Yeah.
For your fans, your followers, your subscribers that know you as, I said it earlier, you're known as the Brick Bucks guy. I think in certain circles. And when they see your thumbnail, they know who you are and all that stuff. Talk to us, share what you can. I understand this goes deeper than simply leaving a channel. There were other sort of business considerations, but can you talk us through the decision there, where things stand, whatever you're comfortable with? I don't want to press you on anything, but can you kind of give us the vertical, the high level view of what happened there?
So you, both of you, would appreciate this because you're on YouTube too, right? So YouTube takes a lot of time, and then if you have a website and you have other stuff going on, a Facebook group, it takes a lot of time, in addition to your full-time job and all that other stuff, and selling Lego. And long story short is, and I could only speak for myself, is that whenever we would have our meetings, I could see that we were wanting to go in two different directions. And, that wasn't such a sharp turn, but I could see it eventually coming out. And so I was the one that, brought up the topic of that. And, long story short, that's what happened. And Sean, I want to make clear what this is not, and the reason why I guess I was verbally pointing at you is because you'll appreciate this. Is by no means is this going to be the Monday Night Wars, right? Where it was WWE versus WCW. It's
Right.
not like that.
Right.
I text Shane last week. He texted me. We're not best friends. We've never been best friends. But if he texts me tomorrow about something, I would immediately reply to him. What we do is very exhausting, and whenever I mention the topic of us parting and going our own ways, the last thing I ever want to do is put words in people's mouth. But I kind of got the sense that, we were both exhausted. There really wasn't that much of, an argument to it. It was pretty cordial the whole way through. And that's what happened. We eventually came out and we had an agreement, and I knew eventually, some people may have seen it. They would say on the public Facebook group, "Hey, where's Jim? I haven't seen Jim." And I'm like, but
some sort of announcement had to be made,
Yeah, and we really didn't put out any videos until that was, pretty much finalized. And
right.
I think it went a week longer than what I wanted it to when it came to finalization of everything. But
Right.
Shane has a path he wants to go down, and he's a brilliant person. I have a path that I want to go down. And if anybody, the casual YouTube winner will win, because they have two channels with two different types of content. So,
got it.
And I wish Shane nothing but the best. So,
no, that's good. I wasn't gonna try to incite any WWE versus WCW.
right. Well, and here's the deal too.
Sort of rivalries, but
I think that channel that I created, I think it's close to. It has somewhere around 8,700 subscribers.
Yep.
So when
you're starting from scratch, like,
right.
How do you feel about that? I mean,
right.
You were able to pull some over. I'm sure. I don't think everyone's fully aware, and
yeah, right. I still get that, but
they see you on the thumbnail, like I said, like the Brick Bucks guy. But wait, he's doing something different now. So,
right.
Because a matter of time, you'll get it back, obviously, but it's got to be a bummer in the short term.
Well, and when that channel gets 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be the first person to publicly congratulate Shane. Because I want that to succeed. I hope the information he's putting out is the information that people want to listen to, so that channel can grow and continue to grow. And that's about it. I mean, I have things that I would like to do, and hopefully people will see some of that in the next 2 weeks with this website launch. Because right now I say, I used to say welcome to brickbucks.net. Now I say welcome to Wolf of Bricks. Certainly can't wait to say welcome to wolfofbricks.com.
Right.
There's some behind the scenes. The person that's helping me out with the website, she had a family emergency or something like that, and so things are delayed a week or two. But let me tell you, there's going to be some things that are on there that people will be like, "Wow, I didn't even think that was possible, or I never even thought of that." So it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, breakups are tough, but they can be cordial depending on
Right.
what you put into it. So just so everyone knows, I mean, I think the fascinating part, Jim, for me was, again, you might have been known as the face of Brick Bucks, but there was also, what you walked the talk. You were actually doing what you said you were doing, behind the scenes, and it was a much probably bigger entity than. I mean, you let on, but you know what I mean? Like the fact that you had a partner in it, and Shane was
Right.
more than the guy who would just show up on your videos sometimes. And
Right. And
so,
Shane was,
fun people.
since the relaunch, he was always a big part of it. He was the behind the scenes person, and he's the one that approached me because, the thing about it is, he's not the first person that approached me about bringing the YouTube channel back, but he presented it in a way where I was like, okay, I'll buy into it this time. And not to mention, I was on medical leave, twiddling my thumbs during the pandemic, so I couldn't leave the house anyway. So I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. And so he was an integral part behind the scenes, and that's something that I've shared with him in emails towards the end, and something I will always acknowledge. So. And it's his baby now too, so he can do with it. Not only does he have that, he has the website, and I hear he's got other things coming out too. So
even though things are amicable now, is there a chance for a little professional rivalry? In other words, he's got the 8,700 of your subs, man. No, I mean, it was you guys. But look, we all know you're a sales guy. I'm a sales guy. There's a scoreboard of some kind. There's the one that we see in terms of subs and views in the YouTube space. Then there's that other scoreboard behind the scenes, and the one that's most important to you.
So
does that drive you? Would you like to get to 10? Would it be cool to lap him in subs at some point? Would that give you a little something?
So I will say this, as diplomatic as I possibly can. I have never felt threatened by other people's content, and that will always be the case for me. And I have always said you are only as good as your last day of work, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, and to be honest, here's the deal. I'm a pretty competitive person, but I'm so busy, I really don't have the luxury of being competitive right now. There are some metrics that I think that I can achieve that he can't, but at the same time, there are some things that I know he can achieve that I can't. So the thing about it is, and I'm going to be honest, when it came to this separation in regards to ownership of certain entities, I don't think either one of us was really a winner, and that's probably a good thing, because if there was no winner, then it pretty much came out equal. So he has a lot of things that is on his plate. I know that, but at the same time, I have a lot of things that are on my plate that are non-related to Lego, and I'm just not talking about my full-time job and other things. There are other YouTube channels out there that you may be seeing in the short term. There's other ventures that I plan on doing, and I'm going to be honest, I've was it 2 nights ago? My wife and I had a conversation about me possibly quitting my job, which means I would be unemployed, which means I would have a lot more time to do many things many things a lot quicker. So so I wish Shane nothing but the best, and I want him to be successful. I don't know what his thoughts are on me, and to be honest, it doesn't matter. I know what my thoughts are, so it is what it is. But when you're NWO, you're in it for life. So
nice wrestling reference sailed right over Brent's head. So.
Oh yeah, I'm not with the wrestling stuff. Nothing against it. I just never was.
Right.
Well, very, very cool. Thanks for giving us a little, I always like the behind the scenes as much as you're comfortable with. And I think you explained it with class, and I appreciate you staying above board with everything. I'm sure there were tense moments, but it seems like you're in that healing stage, and everybody's like, hey, do your own thing and all that good stuff. So that is good to hear. But that said, as I said, I've been friendly with Jim for about a year. I know he picks his winners. I know Jim's a winner. I love what he has going on there. Brent's doing fantastic, Jim. I don't know if you got to see any of his stuff, but he has a really unique presentation, and he has that sort of charisma that you do too, where you feel like you're sitting down and you're engaging with a friend. And I think that is like you're hanging out with your buddy via video, which has become reality, whether we like it or not in this current state. And you guys have that it factor, and I think that's more important than most other things. So as far as in the space, because we talked about it off air, Jim, everybody's doing set reviews and hauls and all this stuff, and other people are talking investing too, but for some reason people are sticking around and watching yours more so than others. So that was my big put over you guys rant for the show. But yeah, Jim, so we had a couple other topics. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to wind it down because I've got work and I've got to take care of my 3-month-old.
God bless you, man.
Door is always open. We're we definitely want to have you back. Speaking of wrestling, now Brent would be into a wrestling conversation if it involved Lego.
Yeah.
As a teaser, perhaps for next time, Jim, I want to talk about a what if. What if they could make a WWE collabo? I know they did some with C3 or whatever, which is one of those knockoff Lego brands, and the figures look terrible. The ring build look cool, but I want to kind of talk about what that would look like, and some other set ideas, maybe on a future episode. But that's something because I feel like we could do that for an hour.
Absolutely.
Why it happened, why hasn't it happened? If it did happen, what would some of the set breakdowns look like? The CMS, I mean, it could be a lot of fun. But I want to thank both you guys for your time. We went a little long, but Brent, I hope you got some value out of this. He's
100%
got a lot of knowledge on.
I feel like, and this is not in a bad way, but I felt like I was in the class in a good way.
Yeah.
Having fun.
That's how Jim presents too. He's like a friendly, teacher that you don't mind listening to. That doesn't bore you. He's one of those teachers you remember in high school that you actually liked, because not only did you learn something, but you thought they were pretty cool too. You know what I mean? So that's definitely the vibe I get. Plus he's into the wrestling, so we got to talk about that at some point. A little bit more flash in the eyebrow. So we are going to wind it down for tonight. So for Jim, now from the Wolf of Bricks, check him out on YouTube. And for Brent from Brent's Bricks, this has been Sean the Right Way. And we are just a couple of BrickHeads. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Peace out.